Nancy Cordes joins us here to talk about this. So, Nancy, this is not typically what we see from Senator Sanders. He talks about income inequality, he talks about standing up to special interests, but delving into the crowd like that, that's kind of new.
It is, although if he's going to go out there in a crowd, that's the crowd he wants to be with, because he has been talking about Verizon and their contract issues on the stump for a couple of weeks now. He talks about union workers all the time. He talks about labor being the backbone of America. He talks about income inequality, so it's kind of a natural that here in New York, where he is trying to send the message that he is a man of the people, he's from New York, that he connects with labor, that he would go out there and be on the picket line.
He has been lagging behind Hillary Clinton in a number of the polls that have come out by 10 to 14 points or so.
Right.
Do you think this is the type of crowd, like you said, but isn't this why young people seem to be drawn to him too? He's having a Coney hot dog the other day out on Coney Island. Now he's in the crowd with Verizon.
Sure, and he picked up a big union endorsement just today from the transit workers. That's about 40,000 workers, subway workers here in New York City. So that's a big boost for him. And his campaign has argued that actually a lot of the rank and file, even of these unions that have gone officially for Hillary Clinton, are with him. And we've seen that a few times out on the campaign trail where both he and Clinton have spoken to the same union group, and he does generate a lot of enthusiasm to the point where some unions have even decided, we saw this in Las Vegas, to basically stay neutral because they knew that perhaps while they were leaning towards Clinton, that a lot of their members were leaning towards Bernie Sanders.
Oh, wow.
And so they said, you know what, we'll just sit this one out.
That is interesting that she has locked up some of the big unions, but that the rank and file, as you point out, seem to support him.
And you can understand why that would be, right? The leadership wants to get on board early with the candidate who they think is most likely to win, because they think that that's the person who's going to be able to push their issues, through this election, possibly into the White House, and then they'll be able to say, hey, remember us? We were with you from the very beginning. The rank and file has a very different interest. They want to side sometimes with the candidate who they think is going to do the most for them. Someone who, they like the idea of free public college. They like a lot of the things that Bernie Sanders is talking about, and so they naturally gravitate towards him. I wouldn't say that Bernie Sanders has all the, rank and file union workers. There's a lot of union support for Hillary Clinton and a lot of, union backing for the Clintons as a couple going back decades. But Bernie Sanders, in a short amount of time, has been able to build up a big base of support there.
You have the Democratic debate happening tomorrow in Brooklyn, as we were talking about. What does Hillary Clinton really need to say in that debate?
She just needs to sort of, not make a big mistake.
Right.
She is, as you pointed out, Jamie, she's leading by about 10 to 14 points in all the polls we've seen. And so the onus is really on Bernie Sanders to kind of make a big splash, figure out some way to put a dent in her popularity, her support, her credibility. He's been trying to do that over the past few days, but we've seen time and time again that there is no spotlight, like a debate spotlight, for sort of, changing the dynamics in different races. Just think back to Marco Rubio's poor debate performance in New Hampshire and how that hurt him. The challenge for Bernie Sanders here is that Hillary Clinton is a pretty seasoned debater. She doesn't often make huge mistakes in debates.
But he really wanted this.
He wanted the debate. He had been pushing for a debate in New York City for a long time. First of all, because he wanted to go up against Clinton on her home turf, but also because one of his big issues is the big banks. Right. One of the big arguments he's been making is that she is the candidate of the big banks and that she's in their pocket. So what better place to make that argument than in the belly of the beast in New York City?
All right, Nancy Cordes, it's going to be a busy couple of days, but we're so happy to have you here in New York City.
Great to be with you.